I'd love to hear your story about how you entered the family business. That's a different path for everybody. One, and two, from there, I want to talk about when the company was founded. What were the founders thinking? What were they doing? What did the company do then versus what it does today? So give us an introduction of Ben and
Sure.
your journey in.
Yeah, so I'm actually fourth generation family business owner, going back to my grandfather and great grandfather. They had a asphalt paving business in Cincinnati,
Okay.
and so I'm actually technically fourth generation in that overall lineage, but second generation in our business.
Okay.
And personally, I grew up down in Lexington, Kentucky, and the kind of the rule in our house was you can go to school anywhere you want as long as it's not in the state of Kentucky. The whole purpose was to get out, do something else, see, explore, find out who you are. And so in September of '95, I moved down to Atlanta and enrolled at Georgia Tech and got an civil engineering degree down there. I like to say I squeezed 4 years into 5, and it wasn't necessarily the easiest curriculum, but I did end up getting through that, and actually met my wife while we were down there. So so that was a lot of fun. And getting out of school, I going to school for an engineering degree within that architecture and engineering space was great. It's kind of the first step, so to speak. But the good and the bad thing about our industry, there is a artificial barrier to entry with professional licensure.
Right.
And so the way it works in engineering and architecture, it's a little bit different, but engineering, you have to pass an exam when you graduate college, and then you've got to work 4 or 5 years and then pass another exam to get licensed as a professional engineer. So I kind of looked around and made a decision to stay in the Southeast and move to Raleigh, North Carolina, and with a fairly sizable civil engineering firm that had a national presence, but they did not have a presence in Kentucky or Ohio, where Branson Carroll was located. And because the other kind of rule in our family was you can't come back to the family business, to Branson Carroll, until you get licensed. So kind of that's the good and the bad of the artificial barriers to entry. And so long story short, I passed the PE exam and got those results in early 2005. And my wife was pregnant with our oldest son, and we left town and moved to Northern Kentucky, in the Cincinnati area, which is where all of our engineering at the time was done in our Cincinnati office. Yeah. So
you spent how many years, and not including college, how many years working for somebody else?
About 5. So graduated in 2000 and left there in 2005. And I tell you what, that company really, I still maintain a relationship with some of the people there, but from a recruiting standpoint, I specifically asked them, do you guys have a problem that there's another firm with my name on it, my family's name on it, somewhere else? And they said no. And this is what really stood out. They said, we want you to have such a good experience with us that you don't want to go back. They didn't see that as a risk factor. They saw that as an opportunity to recruit somebody. And that's what pushed me over the edge to go with them. And I'm thoroughly glad that I did.